Alright, so in your activity you guys just did, Spencer, can you grab the lights real quick? Leave the middle one up.
Middle one?
Yep. Alright, so in this activity you guys did on the calculators, well, you should have found the sums of different types of polygons. So how many degrees are in a triangle? 180. Alright, what about a quadrilateral? Pentagon? 540. Hexagon? Septagon? Octagon? 1080. Nonagon? And decagon? 1440, right? That should be 1260, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, now guys, I'm not expecting you to memorize all 10 of these. Or actually, there's only 7. But here are the big 4 I want you to get. You definitely need to know triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, and hexagon. Those are 4 that you really should try to commit to memory. Alright, because it really does make your job so much easier if you do that. Okay, so it's really important that you guys take the time to get those down. Now, what I was hoping to show you guys on the next page is that this will allow you to then create a scatter plot. And what we want are the sides on the bottom, and then the sum as our dependent variable. And now we can see that as our number of sides increase, what happens to our sum? Increases. And then if you go over here to menu, number 4 for analyze, and then on the Word document you were told to find the line of regression. So that was supposed to be enough of a hint to go to regression, and we want linear, right? We're trying to find a line that fits those numbers, so we're going to find the linear, and we come up with this equation. And it's a little hard to see there, so I'm going to kind of scroll in a little bit here. And you notice it's 180x plus negative 360, correct? So another way of saying that is 180x minus 360, correct? But what do you notice about the 180x and the 360? Yeah, so you can actually pull out you can factor that, right? And you were told to do that on the worksheet. So if we factor out 180 from x, and then what's 360 divided by 180? 2. So in fact, what we actually come up with then is a formula that allows us to find the sum of the angles for any polygon. Whether it's a 105-sided polygon or a 4-sided polygon, this formula allows us to easily find that sum without having to go through that list and continue that list on one after another. Because if you're trying to figure out what's the sum of a 55-sided figure, that's going to get a little tedious to go through that list all the way up to the 55. Alright, so this is a nice little formula. So 180 times n minus 2. That's something I want you to write down. So we have this formula, which I call the interior sum formula. So the interior sum for any polygon is 180 times n minus 2. So this is actually kind of a neat thing to be able to do. So part of your homework tonight is going to say, alright, so we have a pentagon. What's the sum of the angles for a pentagon? Well, how many sides are in a pentagon? There's 5. So therefore, 180 times 5 minus 2. What's 5 minus 2? So now we have 180 times 3 is equal to 540. Guys, collectively, that's the work I want to see from you. And that's exactly what I'm hoping to see from you for your homework tonight. Okay? So that's finding the sum for any polygon. Are there any questions on that concept? Plug the sides into the formula, and evaluate. Now, how is this a little bit different if we're looking at a regular polygon? So suppose that I have a regular hexagon. Tell me, what does that tell us? 3? No?
6 sides.
6 sides. Well, what does the term regular tell us about that shape? Corbin? All the sides are the same, all the angles are the same. So if I want to find what's the measure of one interior angle, okay? Well, how would you do that? If they're all the same, why by 6?
There's just 6 sides.
Yeah, there's 6 sides, 6 angles. So of course you take the sum and divide it by how many you have. Because they're all the same. So if I take the sum, which I'm going to represent here with the Greek letter sigma, which means sum. So anytime you're trying to figure out the measure of the interior angle of a regular polygon, you take the sum divided by the number of sides.
What's that symbol called?
Sigma. It means sum. Okay. So how do you find the sum of the angles? What's the formula? We just did it.
180.
Okay, and we're going to divide that by n. So again, this time we're dealing with a hexagon. So that's 180 times 6 minus 2 divided by 6. So that's 180 times 4 over 6. And guys, try to do as much mental math as possible. Right? The more you get yourself addicted to using a calculator, the worse your skills become. Notice I have 4 over 6. How does 4 over 6 reduce? So that's 180 times 2, all divided by 3. Can 3 go into 180?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many times?
60.
So that's equal to 60 times 2, which is 120 degrees. That means that in a regular hexagon, each one of those angles is exactly 120 degrees. Why is that important? Well, if you're in any kind, let's say you're into artistry, artwork, and you need to build a frame for a, that basically in the form of a regular hexagon, you would need to know what angle to make the interior angles. That way you can actually make the perfect hexagon. Okay, so that's kind of where that all comes from. All right, any questions on that? All right. And the last one I want to talk about goes back from the video from yesterday. What is the sum of the exterior angles for any polygon? 360 degrees. Guys, you should be writing this down. So the sum of the exterior angles is 360 degrees. If I'm a regular polygon, what can you tell me about all of my exterior angles? They're all equal. So what is the measure of the exterior angle of a decagon? Yeah, you're going to take your 360 and divide it by 10 angles. Why am I dividing by 10? Decagon has 10 sides. So therefore, each one is 36 degrees. Now, next question. This one's a little weird. Suppose I tell you that a polygon, a regular polygon, has an interior angle of 108 degrees. What is the name? So basically, what type of polygon do I have? Okay. Now this seems like a little difficult to do, But follow the thought process on this. If my interior angle is 108, what's my exterior angle? 72. Because really, you have two options at this point. You could take 180 times n minus 2 divided by n equals 108. You could take that approach. Or you could take the approach that if you take 360 and divide it by the exterior angle, that will give you n. Which method's easier? 360 divided by the exterior angle. So if I know my interior, it's simple. Find the exterior. 72. Take 360, divide by 72. No, with an interior angle 108. So therefore, now if the exterior is 108, that becomes a little interesting.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. So we actually get 5 sides. Actually, so if it has 5 sides, what's the name of the polygon? Pentagon. All right, guys, that's it. That's everything you need to know to be successful in today's lesson. Okay. So 2 things to do tonight. You have a Math Excel assignment, which I believe is interior something of polygons or polygons interior sum. So it's titled something like that. And then you have 1 video to watch. Okay? And I will also be posting this video, this notes we just did. I'll be putting that on the weekly as well under the Wednesday date. Okay, so we're going to have several videos. You guys make sure you are watching the names of the videos. Yes. Okay, the video you need to watch for tomorrow is called Parallelograms.